You guys all color coordinated.
I know. We're Black Day.
I know.
We ready?
Yes, ready. Sorry.
So your seniors, I know there's still a lot of time, but this is when we're going to honor them. So what do you have to say about them?
I mean, they're just fantastic. I think all around, I was reminiscing about it this morning on my drive because I think this was probably the first class just with early recruiting that, I was really involved in as far as when I was an assistant and had seen them all play since they were in 8th grade. I remember watching Jasmine in 8th grade, Scoop in 8th grade. I think Scoop was the same size she was now in 8th grade, and easy decisions to make on those guys. And just can't say enough about how they're leaving as just great women and humans and just great role models for the community, along with very many, just accolades and physical tools. Just really proud of them as people.
Describe the conversation to an 8th grader and what you're saying in those initial times when you're trying to convince them to come to Arizona.
I think it was tougher for Coach Candrea to have a conversation with an 8th grader. No, it was a long time that we were watching, 14 and under and making decisions on kids. And you'd be very surprised, when I talk to someone like Jasmine, someone like Carly, how very mature they were beyond their years, even then. And just, someone like Carly, she grows up, coming to U of A softball games and wanting to come here. And she was just a special talent and a special kid. And really just such a well-rounded senior class all the way around. And just so proud to call them Wildcats for life.
How about in terms of just how the impact they've had on the underclassmen that are, that they're leaving behind, and, how do you see that the seniors in that younger group of women?
I mean, just they've had a massive impact, I think, especially this year. I think we talked a lot in the fall about them wanting to leave the jersey better than they found it, and that was a big emphasis on this year. I think every single one of them have in their own way. Some with their voices, some just like Jasmine going about her business and just doing the work and silently making that impact on people's lives, and just really proud of that because I think they truly took it to heart and wanted to leave their legacy on this program too.
Is this Jazz? Was it her 3rd or 4th walk-off? Like
I think third this year,
right,
but
this year.
Probably many more
Exactly.
Earlier in her
just
career.
Like, what about her makes her so clutch?
I mean, it was so much fun to kind of have the conversations leading up to that at bat because she was so calm, cool, collected, and wanted the moment just to strategize about it. And the moment didn't get too big for her. She was ready for it. So, we talked about what she was going to do, and she went and executed. And I have to say, watching it over and over on Twitter, that is probably one of the hardest pitches to do what she did with it. And I don't think people are realizing that enough. But that was a rise ball inside, well executed pitch, and she was able to do her thing because of, the hundreds of thousands of reps she does every day.
Is that, I guess, I would imagine that's a situational slap with a runner on third, something you guys actually work on a lot?
Absolutely. She's trying to find enough air to get Allie Blanchard in there, and Allie knew that she had to be on her horse because it was on the ground and it was going to be a force out at home. And, bases loaded, that's one of the tougher situations for a slapper because there's an out at every base. So just proud of the way she just kind of went at it and was truly herself and didn't try to do too much. I think when she was younger, she might have tried to muscle it into the outfield, and that's not her game. So really executed it perfectly.
Watching Arizona games in the stands, you mentioned with Carly, how much do you think, if it all, has helped her progression, like going from her freshman year to now, just knowing that she's seen this program for years now?
I think she's always just been well composed beyond her years, for sure. I think each year she's gotten better at those moments and really embraced them. And she sets this crowd on fire with one swing of the bat, which is so cool. And honestly, even before that, when they announce her name, and everybody kind of goes crazy in those moments too. So just really, I'm going to miss that part of it, and I just, she's going to carry that on into life in her own special way, and I'm just ready to see that too.
You think about these seniors, when they came in as freshmen, they didn't have a normal year, and so they didn't get to make those bonds. What do you have to say about what that did to their careers?
I think they appreciate things so much more, and you'd have to ask them, but I remember, I know this isn't going to be Devin's senior day, but I remember Devin Netz coming in her sophomore year and saying, I went to my first in-person class her sophomore year because everything had been online freshman year. And, I remember the time in the fall of their freshman year where they had to enter through one side of the stadium, exit through the other side of the stadium, so they didn't cross paths with any of the other groups that were practicing that day, and it boggles my mind to go back to that time. But they started there with very few fans in the stands, and they've ended this way, which is just so cool to see. And I think it makes you just appreciate things so much more. Being able to be part of that team, being able to have 3,000 people in the stands and have them cheering for you. And we have a whole lot of video of cardboard cutouts that were in our stands before, and I'm like, what were we doing? It's just so crazy to even think about now. But then you think about last weekend, and the stands were packed, and we were able to do that, and just makes you appreciate it so much more.
What do you like about the way this group has kind of navigated not having what you thought were going to be probably your top two pitchers entering the season?
I mean, they've been rock stars. They've handled it so flawlessly. I think, they made excuses. I mean, I've never heard them made excuses just like throughout the entire year. And if you really look at our body of work, they're the ones that have done it. It wasn't like we lost someone mid-year and, they were the ones impacting all these wins. They've earned every single win that they've gotten, and I just can't say enough about them. And, I think their confidence has built, even in these last few weeks, and beating really good teams and putting us in good positions. So just really proud of them for not skipping a beat, really.
What were the conversations after that Oregon series win, a big, first top 25 series win for you guys this year? How do you carry that confidence? What are the conversations like going into this rivalry weekend?
I was just really proud of them, and I think it just proves that when we're able to stick with our game and really execute, I thought we played great defensively. I thought we pitched into our defense, and then I thought we had timely hitting. The day that we didn't, obviously we didn't get that win, but it really just proves that when we're on our game and we're executing, that we can beat anyone.
What do you remember about your senior day?
Wow. What do I remember? I actually remember the game was really, really close. I was head to toe covered in dirt because I think I slid into home like late in the game to beat Washington. So I remember just being like covered, which was like super fun for all the pictures and everything. No, I just remember it's a lot of emotions that go into the weekend. It kind of is, you remember everything from the very first day you step in freshman year and what those feelings were like. And, it's just special to kind of have that moment in Rita where you literally, practice every day. You've just spilt so much into the program. And there's emotions, but at the same time, it's just those goosebumps you get every day competing in a stadium like this with your sisters. So I'm excited for them to feel those moments. I think they're nervous and not really knowing what they're going to feel, but I think, they've done all the work to have just a great weekend this weekend.
How did you evaluate Olivia's week, both offensively and defensively?
She felt like herself for the first time in a while. I think she would say that too, just calm, cool, composed. Didn't let the game get too big. She really just called or did what the moment called for. So that felt really good to me, just being able to see her in those situations where she's perfectly comfortable in the box and taking her walks when she needs to, executing when she needs to, and really just aggressive on pitches in her zone.
And getting some innings for her behind the plate and not having them all on Shep. How important is that?
It's, I think, twofold, just making sure Liv gets innings, but also that Shep gets some innings off her legs, because that can be a lot. And she went through a stretch of catching a whole lot of games, and that takes a wear and tear on your body, but also mentally, just being in that moment all the time. So just happy for them both. And they've had, honestly, the greatest relationship I think they could have possibly had. Just their roommates on the road. They, feed off each other, make each other better, which is really cool to see with two that play the same position.
Do you have a favorite moment, memory with this senior class?
Wow, you guys. Favorite moment, memory with this senior class? Oh, man. I think there's so many different ones for each separate person. But I will say, when we found out our super seniors were coming back that COVID year, and so our 2020s were all freshmen, they were starters in their own right their freshman year. And I thought the coolest thing and what really set just our culture for the year was the fact that they were such great teammates when it wasn't their turn yet. And they expected it to be their turn. They were ready for their moments. And then everybody stayed behind. And man, someone like Allie Skaggs just is in Reina Karanko's pocket and just soaking that up. And she's a better player for it. Same thing with Jasmine Perez-Chique. She's kind of earning her spots here and there, but it wasn't hers right away. And she had to get that spot. And to me, that just, it makes these years so much more special because of what they had to do at the beginning of their career. They weren't handed anything. They worked for every single piece of it. And at the same time, they got to stay with a class, a truly special class that kind of got to, pass things on to them as well. So I think that's probably my favorite part about their legacy. I think I said it right before I took over, is just like now is their time to shine. And they've been so patient in soaking up everything, but now is their time to kind of enjoy the moment.